Who's the face of ESPN? Wall Street Journal asked the question, how much is that worth for being the face of ESPN? Stephen A. Smith is a key figure at ESPN, highlighted the importance of marketing in sports careers, telling analyst Andrea Carter, you are going to be underpaid for the rest of what I believe will be an illustrious career unless you get your mind right about the marketing. That marketing, it matters. Known for his controversial and attention-grabbing commentary, Smith has been offered $18 million a year to stay with ESPN, marking a 50% increase from his current salary. Smith's influence is evident as First Take, which has hosted over a decade, enjoys a 22-month streak of audience growth. His segments frequently go viral, making him a critical asset for ESPN's upcoming streaming service. ESPN's anchor Scott Van Pelt said Booker could just come out on social media or anywhere else and be like, no, that's just not true. And then you have the back and forth then becomes its own content. Adam.
I mean, name another person at ESPN who's worthy of this type of contract. Go ahead. I'll wait. I mean, Scott Van Pelt is great and all, but he's not Stephen A. Smith. Stephen A. Smith is the face of ESPN. I know that they have the latest and greatest. What's the podcaster that's out there?
McAfee.
Yeah, Pat McAfee that's doing his thing. I think Pat McAfee's actually getting paid more than this. But Pat McAfee has a different type of audience than I guess in Stephen A. Smith. The question is Stephen A. Smith going to sign this contract or is he going to negotiate?
How much do you think McAfee's getting paid if you're saying McAfee gets paid more than Stephen A.?
You can Google the numbers. I think he's getting, he signed a $150 million contract, some massive amount. What was the number on Stephen A. Smith's? $18 million over how many years?
$18 million over 5 years.
Okay. So he's almost $100 million. So that's $95 million. What's the number?
No, it's $18 million a year over 5 years. $91 million.
Okay, $91 million bucks.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Pat McAfee is making more than that.
Guarantee that's 100%?
I mean, check the numbers. I want to say he signed a
100%.
Well, they claim his contract is $85 million over 5 years.
Okay.
So meaning, what ESPN is trying to say is, we're giving you $1 million more than McAfee.
Is that the number though? Okay, so his contract is for $85 million over 5 years.
That's what they've reported to the public. Okay, that's what they're telling to the public. But the real contract with McAfee, one doesn't really know if it's 85, if it's more than that. Okay.
So who gets more eyeballs? Who's done more work for ESPN?
Not even close.
Stephen A. Smith or Pat McAfee?
Not even close.
Okay, and respect to Pat McAfee.
Yeah.
But here's the question, Pat. I mean, this is, you'd probably be the best person to answer this. Do you reward someone for what they've done for you in the past or what they could potentially do in the future? Because whether it's the past and potentially the future, Stephen A. Smith, no question. But the fact that they're giving them pretty much the exact same contract leads me to say, do they believe that Pat McAfee is the future of ESPN? But by the way, these numbers that we're talking about with Stephen A. Smith and Pat McAfee, these are massive figures. I mean, these are not the guys playing the sport. These are guys talking about the sport. Just goes to show you how big media and podcasting has become.
There's two things
days.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
There's two things I'll tell you. Rob, can you go on YouTube and type in Pat McAfee? Okay, the Pat McAfee Show. Look how many subscribers he's got. Go to the Pat McAfee Show and type in subscribers. Should be like 2.something million, 2.58. Okay, now go to the Stephen A. Smith and type in how many subscribers he's got. Okay, Stephen A. Smith Show. And
it's not anywhere near what he's got.
I just want you to see his channel.
Yeah.
It's what? What do you see? 709 versus what?
2.6.
But when did they start?
That's exactly where I'm going to next. So go to About and see when Pat McAfee started. Go to see joined when. Did they give you a date? Yeah, I just think what you just clicked was good. Rob, go to on the bottom, 2017, which is what, 2017. And how many videos does it? Zoom in a little bit, Rob, so we can see.
8,000.
Can you zoom in a little bit, Rob, so I can see that? Or it doesn't let you do it? There you go. 8,319 videos he's uploaded, right?
Stephen A. has 2,000.
Now go to Stephen A. Oh, you looked them up?
I just saw it when you went.
Okay, go to Stephen A. Go to Stephen A. Rob, and let's see what Stephen A.'s got. So Stephen A. started. Go to the About.
I want to say he started like very recently.
No, he just started it. Scroll up a little bit, Rob. Go up a little the other way. I can't see the date, Rob. Okay, there you go. 2022. So he's got 2022, and he's got
2017.
So it's a 5-year difference.
2072, and how many views? 138 million views.
You gonna do the math on
so
that?
he's got 15 times more views. Okay, he's got 4 times more videos, is what Pat McAfee's got, and he's got 4 times more subs, give or take. But he also started it 5 years before Stephen A. did. Okay, if ESPN has given McAfee a contract, because the way they would do it is, if they gave Pat McAfee a contract, that's a sick contract behind closed doors, and they think Stephen A. is not going to find out what Pat McAfee's contract is, they're delusional. It's ESPN, okay? And they're going to get an idea about what's going on, okay? And one of the things that leaked is the fact that Pat McAfee every year used to pay $1 million to Aaron Rodgers to just come on the podcast. And he had like 4 people he would pay $1 million a year to, give or take, to just come to his podcast. And these are obviously big name. Aaron Rodgers, I think another one was Nick Saban. I don't know who yet. Nick Saban could have been another one. And all these guys that would show up to his podcast once a year as a contributor. Big name, celebrity, primetime, players, quarterbacks, et cetera, et cetera. If ESPN doesn't take care of the guy, do you know how long he's been at ESPN? 20 years. And by the way, do you know how long his takes have been sick? How long he's been the most prepared? How long he's done the best? There's nobody in the marketplace that's better than Stephen A. Smith. Forget about his politics, whether you like it or not. When it comes down to the specific area, there's no one that does it better than he does. If ESPN plays with fire, you know who's needs somebody that he can go to in a heartbeat and can, replace a spot of a guy that's about to retire, and it's one of the biggest shows that a lot of people who like basketball watch inside the NBA.
Charles Barkley.
Barkley is about to step away. So now imagine Stephen A. gets an option to go over there, okay? And now we're talking, and let me give you even worse for some of these guys. What if, some of these Roku guys, what did NFL Films pay for that one game? $110 million for the Miami Dolphins against
Peacock. NBC Peacock paid for the one game.
$110 million.
Yep.
What if Peacock says, hey, Stephen A., how about we bring you here to Peacock? Hey, what if, and you know what ends up happening to me? This is how I process it. I think this is ESPN's way and Disney's way of saying cable is dying. Because you're willing to pay a guy that's got a bigger digital audience and he's bringing in money to you than maybe a Stephen A. that behind closed door. You're saying, we're paying Stephen A. $1 million more than we would pay, but we're giving a lot more money on the back end to, Pat McAfee. Yeah, Disney is indirectly saying digital's the long game. They're saying it themselves. But there's many options for Stephen A. And how old is Stephen A., by the way, Rob? Can you Google how old Stephen A. is? What's Stephen A.'s age?
I'm going to say 50.
What's Stephen A.'s age? 54? 53? What is his age? 56. Oh, wow. He looks good. But he's an October baby, man. October 14, October 18. That's why it's making sense. But, when you think about Stephen A., he's got plenty of options of where to go. And I don't know how soon he needs to sign the contract. I don't know the exact date that he has to sign a contract. But Stephen A., if you don't have to sign the contract today, tomorrow, a month from now, 2 months from now, 3 months from now, take your time. Take your time, because I'm telling you, this is going to keep happening. Especially like that, it's going to happen to you because you're a goat in space. Hands down. Tom.
So I kind of dove into this a little bit, and I have a perspective here. Here you have Stephen A. in his absolute prime with a wonderful proven track record. This is not Larry King when he's 75 years old and say, okay, we'll give you a 2-3 year contract. No. He is absolutely in his power years, power prime. He's got the longer he goes, not only the more success he has, but the more perspectives and events and everything he has in his mind to draw on because he's been doing it longer. I compare this to the Bryce Harper contract. Pat, you remember Bryce Harper, 2019. Scott Boras did the right thing and said, look, you haven't just had like your 3-4 year rookie deal and you had your 2 years of arbitration in baseball. Everyone knew that Bryce Harper deserved a number because they knew two things. Number one, outstanding player. Number two, one of the best eyes at the plate. And he was going to convert to first base or be a DH and so extend it. And Boras held out, and Bryce Harper cracked the $300 million. They got $330 from the Phillies, but it took time. They had to wait and get it there. I happen to believe that what Stephen A is worth, when you take a look at media where it is, some people made that. I think this should be 22 to 25. And I'm just I'm backing into the versatility of him. He's a podcast. He's a first take guy with his own perspectives. He's a respondent and a moderator. The guy is a 5-tool player in terms of what he does in sports commentary. And I think this should be 22 to 25 because I'm backing into it. And there's also something else. There was a shortage of Bryce Harpers. There was one Bryce Harper if you wanted Bryce Harper at that time, and you wanted a 14-year player and you wanted to put it in there. There is a shortage of 5-tool players in broadcasting. And I think that's what this is worth because I compare it. And, if ESPN, who's been in cutting and controversy, and then, oh my goodness, you have to remember, they set the benchmark. When they put that 17 number out there and they were saying, we're willing to pay a lot more for fewer people, and they cut a lot of the journeyman athletes, well, then you need to pay a lot more for this guy because he's this 5-tool player in the commentary box.
Makes sense.
The only thing I will add, if you follow the money, if I was defending Pat McAfee right here, I would say, what sport is Pat McAfee best known for?
Football.
What sport is Stephen A. Smith best known for? Basketball. So NFL, by and large, is the most profitable driving revenue sport in the country. I think they almost double what the NBA and MLB drive. So as far as talent, as far as eyeballs, as far as pedigree, as far as the past history, Stephen A. Smith has got that. But the one thing that Pat McAfee definitely has on his side, talented as he is double the revenue of NFL.
Let me ask you a question. Can Stephen A. go to a Fox and garner $20 million a year payday to be a political commentator?
I think you can go anywhere and get 18 to 20 million.
Hear me out what I just said.
Political?
Yeah.
Obviously, it would be current events, but also political. Can Stephen A. go to Fox as a African-American, center-left, famous sports? Can he go to Fox? Fox needs someone right now. And Fox signed him for a $20+ million a year contract.
I think so.
I think so too.
I think he could, but I don't think he's interested in doing that. I think he wants to stick with sports.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I think he's starting to, ever since that age flipped to 5, he's been talking more publicly about politics than he did before. Some things have changed. Doesn't mean you have to agree with him or not. It just means when you're saying, the sport of football, Stephen A. also brings the sports of politics. And that is a sport that he can play. McAfee can't play that sport. But you're right. Football is a bigger, profitable. It's not even close between the two of them.
I think it's like $17 billion.
What does Troy Aikman make?
Billion.
I mean, did you see Peyton Manning's contract?
What did he get?
Ridiculous.
Can you pull up Peyton Manning's contract? Like, it just doesn't make any sense.
Or what Tom Brady just got from, I think it's Fox as well.
Yeah, Peyton Manning's signing contract.
$100 million.
Yeah.
See what Tom Brady got.
No, Tom Brady's was like 347
Something
or something
ridiculous.
like that. Yeah.
Like
tap in,
well beyond
Rob,
anything.
can you tap in Tom Brady's contract? Just tap in Tom Brady's contract. Let's see TV contract.
Fox.
TV contract. Yeah, let's see what that. Look at this. $375 million
That doesn't
over
make
10 years.
sense for a sport. We're talking about sports.
$37 million.
That is insane.
Yeah, but
it just goes to
just
show
not
that's
anybody.
football,
There's only
bro.
one guy of him to do it. Anyways, gang, this is why I love America. I'm America first. My team, my jersey is America. That's what I wear. Yesterday when I went to the game, Florida Panthers against the Edmonton Oilers, you know what hat I was wearing? I was wearing a Valuetainment hat. You know how many Valuetainers I saw yesterday? I couldn't even tell you. Left and right, we were having conversations with everybody because I'm convinced future looks bright. And 4th of July is around the corner. We told you guys we had a complete new merch drop, but I'm going to show, if you're looking at the, Rob, can you actually go to the store so I can tell them what's sold out and what's few items are still left or not? If you just go to vtmerch.com and go to the 4th of July right there, if you can click on that. Okay, so let's go through it. The USA hat is officially sold out. There's no more. That went in no time. The one to the left of Valuetainment, there's 37 of those to the left of that right there. There's 14 of the trucker one, whatever you want to call that, right there. There's a few shirts left. There's a few sweaters left as well. And then if you go onto homepage, there's a blowout sale of 50% that we're running for 4th of July. But here's what you got to keep in mind. If you stay at the top, Rob, the slides will switch. Here's what we're doing. This blowout sale of 50%, it's get it now before things are going to be fully sold out on 4th of July because it's still there. So my suggestion, go to vtmerch.com. Place your order, have the gear ready for 4th of July, then tag us, hashtag VTMerch. I want to start showing our folks around the world, Valuetainers, wearing VT gear with VT hats. Future looks bright, and I want everybody to start finding each other. This contest we ran with the Manek people that were in town Friday, and we had dinner at Casa D'Angelo, and we had cigars till midnight. It was so awesome talking to other Valuetainers who also love America. So, blowout sale, VT merch. Here's the QR code. Go to it. 50% off. This is a 4th of July sale. Again, all this stuff is going to sell out one by one by one. I'm just telling you in advance because you're going to see this on 4th of July. That's the QR code. Or go to vtmerch.com. Get the gear. Sport the gear. Celebrate 4th of July. Celebrate the greatest country in the world. And have the pride when you go around to other people because that's what Valuetainers do. We're going to put the link below as well. But there's also the QR code.
So if you like this clip and you want to watch another one, click right here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click right here.